Welcome to Eternal Mooncast special program Bishoujo Senshi Slumber Party. We're on a current adventure of the React series of the Sailor Moon Deep Dub. This will be the discussion portion for episode 6 through 10.
Sailor Moon has a long and rich history, but have you seen everything? I'm Relia, and these are my friends Monica and Michi. We are three lifelong Sailor Moon fans who dove headfirst into fandom and have stayed there ever since. We love being part of the amazing fan community surrounding this genre defining series. If you've been watching and you'd like to jump to a particular episode in our discussion, timestamps will be in the description.
Now, we know some of you may not have seen the classic Deep Dub, but if you want to watch along with us and enjoy our reactions, join our Patreon to get in on the fun. You can subscribe for as little as $1, and that link is in the description below.
All right, now let's dive into discussing episodes 6 through 10 this month. Monica and I have watched them both in Japanese and English so that we can give just a little bit more commentary about them and the Japanese episode numbers for this month's episode. If you are following along with that, are going to be episodes 9 through 13.
We'll be summarizing each episode, talking about them, sharing our thoughts with you. We're excited to share our favorite moments, what we loved, and everything else in between. Join the chat or post in the comments and let us know what you think about each episode too.
So, episode 6, what is the English title?
Time Bomb.
Time Bomb.
Time Bomb.
The episodes remind me of OPI nail polish colors. And I mean that in the best way possible.
No, they are very. They're all. Everything is like some little saying.
It's so cute, though.
I do like the English titles. I know we talked about this a little bit last time, but of all the things that the Deep Dub changed out of Japanese, the episode titles are real winners.
I like them. I think they're really cute. I think when you're talking about art, I think when you're thinking about something like a painting, yes, the painting is often in dialogue with its title, things like that. I don't think Sailor Moon is a series where the episodes are in dialogue with their title in such a way that you are removing anything artistically by changing the titles to be something that is more in the narrative custom of a Western audience.
Yeah.
Like, I also like the Japanese titles that are, like, 2 sentences long, but that's it's not the sort of episode titles that read in the same way to a Western audience, and I think that they have changed them in a cute way.
Yeah, I think that it's localized and transformed in a positive way.
Yep.
Yeah. Because there's definitely not a Western convention of titles being like, the monster of the East, danger comes to the city. Like,
That could literally be a title.
Everybody's going to think that's the opening line.
Sometimes it straight up gives the plot away, too. It's Naoko dies? Is this... Yeah.
Kidnapping of the buses? Ray's transformation into Sailor Mars, and you're like, "Okay, so
now I know
I'm
what
going to
happens in the
expect."
No, I shit you not. There's an episode titled The Death of Uranus and Neptune, the Talisman appear.
Yep.
You just gave us the episode.
That's what happens. It's just on
Just
one
there
hand,
you
I
go.
think I kind of respect titling something and just telling you what fucking happens. I think there's something to it. I think maybe we should do it more. But it's definitely not the typical convention of Western episode naming.
No. Oh, man.
Right,
Okay,
so
what's happening in this episode?
yeah, Time Bomb. Let's summarize what happened in this episode.
Yeah, so Time Bomb, this is the Clock Store episode. This is one of Jadeite's few schemes where he is not specifically targeting young girls, because normally that's his bag.
That's his
Um,
MO.
Yep, but this time he was like, what if I target all people generally? People expend a lot of energy being busy in their lives. And if they were in even more of a hurry and even more stressed and even more anxious, they'd be putting out even more energy. So if we just make everyone be in a rush all the time and make time go really fast, people will just be like pumping out energy and we can just suck it right out of them. Jadeite has this Yoma that creates a clock store, in fact, creates the entire building, and the clock store is having a clearance sale. So this is very much reminiscent of our very first episode with the jewelry shop. It is exactly the same scheme, except instead of jewelry takes your energy, it's Clock makes you pump out a lot of energy and takes your energy. So it is an improvement of the scheme, but as far as coming up with a new idea narratively that wasn't the thing from the manga, they didn't. They just are redoing the jewelry shop plot.
Which
They're like, "All right, God,
has the added benefit of making Jadeite look really stupid.
yes, it does." And this is not even the first time they've recycled the plot of we sell people an item that everyone buys because it's the hip thing that is on a huge sale and everyone needs to buy one. Because this was also the Chanela episode, the little evil pets.
Yeah.
Same concept, new store, everyone's into it. You can get stuff for dirt cheap. Everyone gets it from there, steals their energy. He's got one idea and he really goes with it in like slight variations. So anyway, they open this clock shop. Everyone's, "Oh my god, there's amazing sales on clocks." Now let's examine for a moment. Have you ever imagined the idea of people having like an excited rush on a clock store? Everyone rushing that they must buy a new clock because there's a sale.
Prior to TikTok, no.
No.
But now that I live in a post-TikTok world, yes,
Oh, you know what? You're so right.
I'm afraid that I am.
You're so right. People pushed people down to run into Target to buy new Valentine's colored Stanley
Lee
mugs,
cups, yeah.
of which they already owned other ones that served the same function. You're so right.
We say that because they haven't come out with a Sailor Moon Stanley.
But for that price, I still wouldn't buy it. If it was cheap as hell, maybe, but I own cups. I own travel cups. I don't particularly use travel cups that often, and I don't drink large quantities of liquid.
I
And
gotta
they're
say, if you want cold water when you are at a fantasy LARP in the sun in June, a Swell bottle full of ice cold water that you filled up in your Airbnb because fuck camping is like the best decision I've ever made.
yes, get the job done
Yeah.
perfectly.
So that's just that aside is about how neither of us would be caught by Jada.
Yeah, it's true. So anyway, neither of us would be like, "I need to get that cool new clock,"
Why?
because
Yeah.
everyone else is getting it. So Serena goes, she sees a clock that, like, looks like Luna. It's a delightful clock. It's very cute.
It is
Frankly,
very
if they did sell that clock and it literally looked like the clock from the episode, that I would buy because I'd be like, "Oh my god, it's the clock from the clock episode." It's not have to buy it. That would, genuinely be a good product.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you on that one. I would also be like, nah, yeah, I gotta buy the little Luke clown.
The Luna clock, and then wonder every day if it's gonna steal your energy. Wake up in the morning feeling tired, and you're like, "Ah, it's the fucking Luna clock. That's
I
all it
love
is. It's the Luna clock. She got me again." So anyway, Serena's like, "I really want the clock," and the lady's, "Oh, well, it's 70% off." And Usagi's like, "Oh, this is an amazing deal. I could totally buy it." Opens her wallet, crickets, moths fly out. She can't afford it because she spent all her money at the arcade. And Amy's, "That's okay. If you're buying it because you want to get to school on time," which was what Usagi said. Very admirable of her. "I'll just come and I'll walk with you in the mornings. I'll come get you. I'll make sure you're up." Very cute of them.
Yeah,
Oh, I should mention
Amy,
this.
consistently a
Okay.
good friend.
Yeah, a good friend. And this was a cute episode. The premise of the episode is that Usagi and Amy are there because Serena is taking Amy to the mall to shop at the mall for the first time. And it's cute little cutscene of like montage of them just like going to different stores, trying things on, like having a good time. Amy's having lots of fun with her. It's a classy example of Usagi just being a really good friend to people. So it was in fact very sweet beginning of the episode. So anyway, Serena wants to buy the clock. Can't buy the clock, she can't afford it. Amy's, "That's okay. I'll pick you up in the mornings." Serena gets home. Her mom is like, "Hey Serena, I was out shopping. I got you this." And Usagi opens it and it's the Luna clock cuz her mom, like, they're on a wavelength, and she was like, "I saw this. It looked just like Luna. I thought this would help you get up in time for school." Serena's, "Yes, that's the thing that I wanted to help me get up in time for school." She's very excited about it. Shows it to Luna. Luna's like, "How dare you? This does not look like me. This is creepy. This looks nothing like me. Are you saying I'm creepy?" And Usagi's, "It looks just like you. Relax, Luna. It's great." Sets it, forgets it, goes to sleep. Starts stealing her energy in the middle of the night. And like, she wakes up at 5 a.m., jazzed to get going. Amy shows up to pick her up. She's, "I'm here to get Usagi." And Ikuko Mama's, Usagi left like at 7 a.m. And Amy's 7 a.m.
Since
What?
when? Usagi who?
Since fucking when? And Ikuko goes, oh yeah, see, her brother left even earlier than that. And then we see Kenji Papa run out the door with toast in his mouth. Again, Serena comes by it honestly. And then Ikuko Mama's, I gotta go clean the house. Bye. And Amy's just, what a weird ass fucking family.
She's just, what the fuck is wrong with these people?
So I watched the Japanese episode and I didn't notice her thinking that in Japanese. I think they added that for the Deke dub. I think she just has the door slammed in her face.
I love when the Deke dub adds a punchline. Genuinely.
Yes.
I love when the Deke dub adds a punchline. Because all the punchlines are pretty good, to be honest.
Yeah.
Having her be like, fuck is wrong with these people when the door is slammed in her face instead of politely staring at the door. It also, I think, localizes it in a cultural way because it's a very American punchline as opposed to the Japanese punchline because they're both funny.
Agreed. Yep.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny because it reminds the audience that, oh shoot, what's it called? Dramatic irony? It reminds the audience that we know something that Amy doesn't know. That to us, we know the whole family is acting this way because they're under the influence of the clock. Amy has no idea that a clock has even been purchased by anyone. No, as far as she knows, she dropped Serena off at home. She went home, did her 12 hours of homework, happily went to bed, woke up, did a few more hours of homework, got ready, swung by to pick up Serena, and all of a sudden, this family's real fucking weird. Especially if this is her first time meeting any of Serena's family.
Which I believe it is.
As far as we can tell, like it's possible it's happened off screen, but this is only Amy's second episode. As far as we know, this is probably her first time meeting Serena's family, and they are weird.
And they are extremely weird.
It's just standing there on the front doorstep like, that's why she's like this.
Yes. She's not wrong. It's unusual, but the fact that her family are also weird, not wrong.
Not wrong.
You can't lie about facts.
They get to school. Everyone at school has presumably also purchased the incredibly popular clocks within the first day because the whole class, as usual, is we got to get things going. We got to get done. Let's get started. Let's get started. Let's get started. Miss
Homeroom is also
Miss
a second.
Homeroom, as you. That's not there. I was gonna go with your Miss Homeroom, and then I
couldn't remember her name. Miss Homeroom.
Miss Homeroom. All right, so Miss Homeroom walks in, and she also is like, "All right, everybody, let's just get started. We got to go through this as fast as possible." In the Japanese, I've got 4 dates lined up tonight, so let's just get through this.
All right. Dates.
Told everybody, yes. She says she's got 4 dates lined up for that night. I was like, girl, you are on fire. Lets them all out of class early. Let's say it's been about 2 minutes into the class.
That's early.
Yeah, this is real early. Everybody goes home. Amy meets up with Usagi or with Serena, and they're like, "What's going on?" Or no, Amy's walking home. Serena's on the bus. The bus driver is in a wild hurry. Every car is frantically honking at each other, speeding left and right. Every person on the bus is, "We gotta go, we gotta go, we gotta get there now. This woman's, let me off here. I need to get off this bus." They're acting like New Yorkers. I would like to say that they're acting in a weird way that no one ever acts. And probably what I think is funny and that you can't localize away in this is the fact that I suspect that there's no public transit in all of Japan that bears any resemblance to public transit in New York City. This type of behavior of everyone being like, "Hey, I'm walking here," like laying on the horn and things like that. Like, I imagine that to the Japanese viewer, that stands out as incredibly strange, while to the American viewer, you're just like, they're all being like very New York right now.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that you can't localize the difference in how this reads to an audience. So it's funny to me that I'm just like, oh, they're all New Yorkers for the day.
It turns Tokyo into New York City.
Into New York City. Literally what he asked. He's like, what if I made everyone in twice as much of a hurry? And they go nuts about it. He did. It's just New York. Bus driver crashes the bus. Everybody gets off. Usagi's, what were you even thinking? Runs into Amy. Amy's, this is all weird. we need to figure out what's going on. Luna's, yeah, I think it's because of these like creepy clocks. I still think the clocks are really sus. And so Amy's like, all right, let's look into it. Should we come up with a plan? And Usagi's like, no, we should transform. We should just right down there because I'm in a hurry. And Usagi just like transforms before anyone can say anything. And then Amy's kind of into it. She's because Serena's like, all right, come on, Amy. And Amy's like, all right, nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? And so, she's like, all right. And she transforms. And Luna's, oh, not you too. And they run off just toward the danger. They run to the clock shop. They run down some low budget geometric hallways, as you
I
do.
love the low budget geometric hallways so much.
Same. They encounter the villain, sucks them in through her giant grandfather clock into a cool melty clock dimension. This is one of the classic funky background, weird space dimension episodes where they're sucked into a pocket dimension that's got really cool like visuals. And this is one they're specifically just floating in the midst of melting clocks.
We love that public domain art.
Yes. They went for it. They were like, it's been a while. He's dead. Is he going to complain that we use some melting clocks? No. Salvador Dali is fine with it. He won't know. Usagi's, all right, let's just fight this villain. Then she suddenly is turned into a child. And she's, whoa, what happened? And Mercury's like using the supercomputer, which Luna gave her earlier in the episode. I skipped over that. And she's,
Yeah, now she has her Apple Vision.
yeah, she has her Apple Vision and her, like, what did they used to call them?
I know what you're talking
Personal,
about.
like her BlackBerry. No, they had a name. Before we had, like, cell phones and things like that, you just had your little BlackBerry type of thing that you could carry around. No, it's gonna come to me, like, in 45 minutes when we're talking 2 episodes down, and I'm gonna be like, "Oh, personal digital assistant." It was your personal digital assistant. By finishing the sentence, it came to me. So she's, like, busting out her little PDA, typing on that and looking through her Apple Vision, and the Yoma can control time. And Usagi's, wait, so it could make me old? Very cute shot of, like, little granny Sailor Moon, a classic shot from the anime. Super cute. The Yoma, Usagi's just drained of energy by this point because it's been sucking her energy all day. The Yoma individually freezes time just for Sailor Mercury. Tuxedo Mask pops out of nowhere, hits the Yoma with a rose. The Yoma's thrown off. Mercury and Moon attack it together. Mercury does her Shaban spray, Bubbles Blast, and creates a fog so the enemy can't see. Serena Moon uses her tiara, chucks it at the enemy, yada yada. There's a battle. All's well that ends well.
Our heroes win the end.
Yeah. I don't even think there's a resolution where Usagi's, I don't need this silly clock anymore. I think
No, it's pretty our heroes win the end.
Yeah. This is the end of the episode. All right. People's thoughts on this episode.
I thought it was cute. It was like a very harmless, generalized plot. Honestly, good on Jedi. Good plot. Everybody hates being busy.
Yeah, Jedi has the ability to tap into the social moment. Amazingly, all of his plots are like understanding socially what things seem to motivate humans. And he's just, I should use that in an energy gathering plot. As much as all of his plots are like in many ways bad, all of them are also good in a way. And this was a strong Jedi plot in that sense.
Yeah, Jadeite would kill on social media.
He would be so welcome.
Yeah, I almost would like to see a slightly modernized take on Sailor Moon in which the Jadeite plotline is him starting Twitter fights and making viral TikTok videos that make people do shit. I would love that so much because that's basically what he's been doing the entire time. He's just
he watches the Tide
yes,
Pod
Queen
video
Beryl.
and I'm gonna make a Negapod.
I've hacked the algorithm, my queen.
Good, Jedi. Good.
You should also watch our Patreon episode. Give us a couple bucks on our Patreon to see the watch through of this, where we spend a lot of time talking about how ridiculously overpowered this Yoma is, and if he had it in his arsenal, why didn't he use her sooner?
Oh my god, just one of the all-time most overpowered Yoma in the
whole thing.
entire series. In all 200 episodes of Sailor Moon. This Yoma is shit. We do not understand why Pluto did not at any time rip open this little time pocket and be like, A, you're not allowed to change the speed of time. You're not allowed to make time go faster or slower. B, you're not allowed to stop time. You're certainly not allowed to selectively stop time just for one frickin' person. This Yoma is very overpowered.
Yeah. No, literally, Sailor Pluto, where are you?
Here are some notes that I have from the comparing the Geek dub to the original Japanese. In both the original Japanese and the Geek dub, in the scene in which Usagi comes home from shopping and failing to get the clock, we see Ikuko Mama watching something that Kenji Papa is doing. Can't see what he's doing, but I can assure you that in both versions, he is relentlessly hammering something into the wall. Like either he's a really gentle hammerer that takes about 500 hits to get a nail into a wall, or he's really putting up like a lot of nails. There's no mention of what he's doing or why he's doing it, but just in the background and then constantly whacking nails. They were like, we need to show that he's a dad doing guy stuff.
He needs to engage in dad activity.
Cook outdoors. This is the episode in which we learn that Kenji Papa and Ikuko Mama sleep in separate beds.
Yes.
Now,
What?
these beds are like 4 inches apart. There's no distance between. They might as well be in the same bed. I don't know why 1990s Japan was adhering to the Hays Code.
Great question. I don't know if that was just their sitcom parents joke, but it really does it really gives their whole household that they're staying together for the kids' energy. That hadn't occurred to me beforehand.
No, we were watching it. Everything's, yeah, fine, sure. And then all of a sudden, and the beds were even gendered by color.
Yeah,
it was
like
blue
a
for the
blue
dad.
bed and like a fuchsia bed. Yeah.
I was like, is this I Love Lucy? What?
Yep. It had that vibe.
As we've discussed, the straights not okay.
No.
Oh, straight aren't okay.
A thing that I liked about this episode was the implied fact that the reason that Amy is the one person in all of Tokyo who's not affected by this fad is that Amy is already in so much of a constant hurry and already constantly pushing herself to be productive that she didn't feel the need to hurry any further. Like she's already doing the thing that these clocks were going to compel people to do. So she was never like, I need a clock to be more on schedule for things. Girl has been on schedule since she was like 4 years old. She's got her planner is like down to the 4-minute increment. So I
That's
feel
so
like
funny.
that's why Amy was just exempt from the Yoma plot here.
It's just you can't. She was already at max stress, and you can't get any more.
Yep. First instance of the Mercury computer, and it is the rare instance of a Sailor Senshi item that is explicitly created by Luna. There are more items, I think, that are explicitly items in the manga than there are in the anime. In the manga, you've got Venus's chain is explicitly an item. She's wearing it when she's not using it, things like that. That certainly wasn't made for her by Luna. Maybe it was made for her by artists. That'd be dope.
Yeah, the Senshi in the manga have what I think I would call artifacts.
Yes.
Like the stone sword is an item, her chain is an item, the transformation, the pens are an item, the Jupiter's old
Lightning rod. Yeah, lightning rod is an item.
Yeah, Mercury eventually has the harp, which is an item.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're more explicitly these magical artifacts in the manga. In the anime, not mostly with the exception of Mercury's mini computer, which is explicitly Luna poofs it into existence. And are you sure you shouldn't be giving this to Serena? And Luna's, I want you to think about that one for a minute. It'd be better with you. And Mercury's like, yeah, okay, that's fair. But
And
also, it has
she
the
doesn't
Mercury
argue
symbol
that
in the
point.
back of it. So
She doesn't argue that point too hard.
no, she does not. We know from our viewing of it that Usagi explicitly, canonically, does not know how to use a computer.
No, not at all.
Let's see. Yep, incredibly powerful Yoma. Oh, there was a cool custom duo posing shot. Sometimes they'll give custom shots of them doing a dramatic pose just after they've transformed. And there's one with just Moon and Mercury's kind of kneeling, almost clinging at Usagi's leg in the classic Star Wars poster where Leia is like clinging to Luke's leg. It's very reminiscent of that in a weird way. It's a great little duo post shot that they just decided to go out of their way to do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Since this is going to be pre-recorded, hello everyone who's watching it live. But since this is a pre-recorded episode, you can just drop those images.
You'd be like,
Yep.
wow, Michi was so fast. Now it's pre-recorded.
It's pretty good to give everybody a taste of what our edited content is like if they have never checked it out on YouTube.
Yeah,
This
check
is
out our
Going up on Twitch.
mandatory plug to check out our YouTube and to check out our Patreon, which also contains edited content that is not released anywhere else.
It is not. We are our Patreon. That's where you'll be able to fully rewatch the entire episodes of the Deep Dub with us. So if you do want to check that out, it's maybe something you might be into. And if you ever jump into the stream and you don't get the notification right away, maybe you hop in 15 minutes late, 30 minutes late, and you want to later on watch the beginning of the episode and see what you missed, do please pop over to YouTube. If you watch it there, like it really helps us in the algorithm to reach more people. And ultimately, we know there are so many Moonies out there. Shows like this exist because we wanted more of this out there. And so hopefully there are more people out there that want to be able to talk about Sailor Moon in depth and see people talking about Sailor Moon in depth. And so if you watch, even if you just watch the first part of the episode on YouTube, it does help us out a lot. So we very much appreciate that.
Thank you. And Patreon is $1 whole.
$1.
So
Very a little tiny dip in the bank. That's all.
as of February 2024, because we don't know how long we're going to be doing this for.
All right. That is basically the end of the clock episode.
All right. So we're getting into episode 7.
The English title of episode 7 is An Uncharmed Life.
An uncharmed life.
Distinctly different from a semi-charmed kind of life.
Yes, it is. I believe you get to hear us singing that in the Patreon
episode. Yeah. Yep. I made exactly the same joke because I only got so many jokes.
You know what? We can't claim that things that we thought were worth saying in the original recording are things we no longer think are worth saying. So some of them we're going to say again. That's how that's going to be.
And the Japanese title is very long again. So it is The Cursed Bus Enter Mars, the Guardian of Fire.
Okay. It's just a summary of the plot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They really like to do the Sparks version.
So the plot of this episode is there's a cursed bus, and then we're going to get essentially the introduction of Mars, the Guardian of Fire.
Yeah. So
Bada bing,
despite
bada boom.
this episode being a plot from the manga, it's pretty departed from the concept in the manga. I think the only thing that's the same is the idea of the bus disappearing. And being Ray's introduction. That's about it. The anime made some choices here.
This is one that, and I think because it's directly pulled from the manga, is slightly more of a departure from Jadeite's usual MO. Not entirely, but slightly. In this case, Jadeite has once again gone back to his bag of tricks of what are some things that teen girls like. And in this case, he's decided that teen girls like to get romance charms, good luck romance charms from a local temple. And that if he gets them to get those charms and then they all ride the same exact bus, he can just steal the bus full of people and profit.
But again, he's super successful.
It's not a bad plot. And the thing that I think is really strong about the plot that he comes up with is it'll be much harder to interfere with his stealing of people's energy if he physically removes those people to another dimension before he starts taking the energy. So I'll get them all on the bus. Then I just take the whole bus, suck it into a pocket dimension, and I'll steal their energy there. So what's been happening is Serena and Amy and Molly and generic friend number 2 are talking about how they've been hearing rumors of these disappearances of buses on a certain intersection. And that just 3 different buses or whatever so far full of people have just disappeared. And everyone's really talking about it. It's really weird. And I think Molly says there's a shrine near there where they sell like protection charms to ward off evil spirits. This is so scary. Why don't we go to that shrine and get charms to protect us from being kidnapped by evil buses? As you do. You would think they would just not take those buses, but who knows? So they go to the shrine. While they're there, they see this stunningly beautiful priestess. Usagi's like, ugh, I've never been so bisexual. They're all like, wow,
true.
she's amazing. And everyone's bugging her about the disappearances. She attempts to exorcise Serena because she thinks that Serena is like bringing bad vibes into the temple. And then because she literally knocks Serena on the ground, then she like has concussed her and brings her into her room and is like tending to her injuries. Then Jadeite, or as he is, I believe, known in this episode, Jed, another one of his classic disguises, who is now working at the shrine, comes in and is here. I brought you washcloths and water. And Ray's just, yeah, get out. And Molly's, oh, a hot guy. And Serena like pops up from unconsciousness and is, a hot guy where? And she's, oh, he's hot too. I've never been so bisexual again.
You're not wrong.
Yep.
She's so bi in this episode.
She's very bi in this episode. A random mom shows up yelling at Ray. She's like, where is my daughter? She came to this shrine and then she disappeared. People are saying all these people that are coming to this shrine are just disappearing. My daughter's missing and I need you to tell me like where she is. And Ray's, I've told you people time and again, we have nothing to do with this. My grandfather's not kidnapping people. Everybody get out. Leave me alone. We are not evil. Go away. So everybody basically gets kicked out. They find themselves at the bus stop, and there's a jillion people lined up to take this bus. Every single one of them is like a young girl with her like romance charm. I don't think they're ever in the deep dub delineated as romance charms. They just have their little charms. They all get on the bus. The bus driver is sexy, and Usagi is terrified of her. Does not want to get on. The bus leaves and just disappears into a portal, and it's gone. And Usagi, I think, is thinking to herself, I made the right call. Luna's disagreeing. Reconvenes with Amy. They go back. Serena wants to ask Ray, does she know anything that can help? Blah, blah, blah. Ray is very offended. She again thinks she's being accused of stuff. Basically kicks Usagi or Serena out. The bus comes again, and Luna's, Serena, get on that stupid bus right now. And Serena's scared. I don't want to do it. Maybe I would, if I could be someone else, that would be easier. And then she's, wait a minute, I can be someone else. Transform me into a gorgeous flight attendant. Another of her classic. It's actually, yes, there she is not wanting to get onto the bus.
There she is
as a
being
gorgeous
flight attendant. Yep.
Gets on the bus, attempts to arrest the bus driver, as flight attendants do, and gets sucked into a portal into the other dimension. Meanwhile, Ray is like scrying in her sacred flame. She's, tell me who's behind all this, what's going on. And it just shows her Jed. And so
Jed.
she's, oh, that fucker. I knew I hated that fucker. And so she goes into the room where he is, and she's, I know you're behind this. And he's, what are you talking about? And she's like, all the disappearances, you're behind them, and I'm going to take you down right now. And he's just, no, you're not, and just chucks her through a portal into the alternate dimension. Jedi also wildly overpowered, but doesn't use it. So chucks her into the other dimension. So now Ray's in the other dimension. Serena's in the other dimension as a flight attendant. Together, they're both like trying to deal with the Yoma. Luna's, your Sailor Mars, you need to transform. She transforms. They're like doing some fighty stuff. In the background, at some point, Tuxedo Mask has also arrived.
He's there.
He's just there. He does not appear to be doing anything. We'll circle back to that. Mars and Moon together defeat the Yoma, but because they've defeated the Yoma and she was the thing that was holding this dimension together, the portal to escape begins to quickly close. And they're like, oh crap, we're going to be stuck in here because now the portal's closing. Outside of the portal, Amy has noticed that Serena and Luna are not where she can see them, and so intuits that they have been sucked through this portal, and she's incredibly worried about them, and she's on her knees crying and praying, "Mercury, give me the power to help them," and blah, 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 and somehow her teardrop falls through this portal, and the power of Mercury holds it open. Meanwhile, that for once, Tuxedo Mask has not just shown up to briefly disrupt the villain and then inspire them and then leave. Actually, he's been doing something super useful, which is that while they were fighting the Yoma, he has been tying all 3 of the stolen buses full of all the unconscious kidnapped people together. So he's got one in the front, he's got 2 they're tied to it in the back. And he begins to drive all of the buses towards the portal to like rescue all of the kidnapped people, which he successfully does. And he's, "Hey, Mars, hey, Moon, you want to ride?" They hop on with him. They're both like, "Oh, you're so hot." Everybody gets out of the portal. Mars and Moon are both like, "You can't be hot for him. I'm hot for him." Blah, blah, blah. And they win. Everyone's happy. And that's the episode.
Our heroes win the end.
Yep. Our heroes win the end.
And
These were some Our Heroes Win the End episodes.
it's such a strange episode to me for a major character introduction.
I think because the character introductions in the manga didn't have the sort of gravitas that we would want them to have in the anime because the character introductions in the manga were back to back to back to back to back. There were no filler episodes for them to need to stand out from. It was every episode was someone's episode. Jedi only had a couple of crap schemes before ultimately Beryl kills him. Or no, I think Mars kills him? Mercury kills somebody kills him.
Somebody killed him. Who killed
I
him?
think it might be
It's
Mars.
Either Mars or Sailor Moon. It's one of those 2.
Yeah.
Who,
One of them
who-
kills him.
Who murk him.
How does he die? I forget.
He gets zapped.
Zap. In the manga, a lot of villains just get zapped and die.
Yeah, there's a lot of, they introduce themselves. Here's their plot. It hurts a lot of people. Someone shows up, goes, "Fuck you," and then they die over the span of 5 pages.
Yep.
If a character shows up and says, "I, so-and-so of the rank so-and-so from the villain organization will plot," they're dead in 5 pages.
It is a rare character. We're talking a few. Saphir is an example of a character that doesn't show up, announce himself, and die. And it also isn't the big bad. It's very rare that you see any characters like that. Most of them are going to be like, "Commander so-and-so, give me your servant, name of servant, chance to prove myself." And then Esmeralda goes off, makes one attempt, and gets murdered. They all are very bad at staying alive.
You know what?
The manga moves at a fast clip.
It does. Something else we should mention, this is the start of that awful Mars versus Usagi for Mamo.
Oh, yes, in the cartoon.
This is
where
the start.
They're gonna fight with each other over Mamoru's affection for not the rest of the show, but too much of it.
Too much of it. Moreover, this is the start of, and this is, in my opinion, even slightly more enhanced in Deke than in the Japanese anime, although still significantly enhanced versus the manga. This is the start
Oh.
of the anime's presentation of Usagi and Rei as just fucking hating each other, just being mean to each other all the time. They're shown to be more of friends in the manga. So in this Japanese episode, when Usagi goes back to the temple to ask Rei, "Hey, we're trying to figure out what's going on with this bus thing. Is there anything you can tell us?" And Rei just instantly thinks that Usagi's going to be there to accuse her of things. And then Usagi, "No, I just wanted to ask for your help." And then she needs to go. She's, "Rei, I really do want to be your friend, but I have to go." And you don't get a line like that in the Deep Dub where she expresses like, "No, I would really like to be your friend." And unfortunately in the anime, that's not really followed up with by showing them as being friends, because immediately in the next episode that we get to, they already are just constantly at each other's throats. I guess that they decided for the anime to really play up this rivalry between them, to give it a romantic angle, to make it much more extreme. And while it's not in a vacuum, it's not like a bad choice to show these kinds of things. It doesn't it always feels out of step, especially for Usagi's character to me, to just be this, like, at loggerheads with someone.
I would agree.
In case you're wondering about how many changes, that's it. It's from the manga, and this is
Mhm.
additional changes in the dub.
Oh, wow.
And we could be here all night. It's actually pretty wild. I will link the article below. It's from Sailor Moon Wiki, but it does have a couple of fun facts. Like this episode showed the first instance of Sailor Senshi using their powers to guide or support Sailor Moon. In this case, Ami was able to use her transformation pen to guide Usagi to the exit of the dimensional warp. This is also the only time a single Senshi supports Sailor Moon without the help of the others.
Yeah,
This is the
the
first
fact that
episode.
Mercury has the power to do that, like, I remember watching it and being like, "She can do that? Since when?"
And it also says it is never shown how Tuxedo Mask got into the dimension.
No, I literally have notes of, like, how did he get there? He's suddenly there. Who knows how he got there? Maybe he just also took the bus, but he
Yeah,
actually helped. Good for him.
I like the idea that he's just been in there for a while.
maybe he was on the
Maybe he was on the
first bus.
first bus. Yes. Yes, and he's just been there.
He's just been there. He's just been trying to figure out how to get out. Not super stressed because he's at some point the girls are gonna show up.
Yeah,
This
all
had
I
better
have
be
to
a plot.
do yeah, all I have to do between then and now is wait for these people to pass out so I can unzip my garment bag and change into my tuxedo that I always carry with me for emergencies.
That's
And then changed into his tuxedo and then waited for the girls to arrive and save his ass. To my recollection, in the anime, this is the first mention of the silver crystal. Beryl mentions that
Yes.
the Negaverse is searching for the silver crystal and that they want to find it before their enemies do, and they need it for Queen Metalia.
oh, okay.
The Queen Battalion's still not mentioned because I think it's still the Negaforce or
The Negaforce. Oh yeah, she will be the Negaforce for all of the deep dub. But so the in the Japanese version, they make it more explicit that the missing bus is happening at this point where there's like a convergence of 5 different streets. And I think that level of making it this auspicious location isn't something that I remember happening in the deep dub episode.
No.
I think they were
It
just like, "Oh yeah, the bus that comes to the corner of Smith Street," kind of a thing.
Yeah, the Deke dub really just makes it out to be Jadeite's just fucking stealing public transportation.
Yeah.
It's just a bus. He's just taking it. In the Japanese, they play up the sort of auspicious angle. In the manga, it's straight up an urban legend.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, so when they first meet Ray, Luna looks at Ray and is, wow, she's so regal and she has so much presence. Could she be the princess that we're looking for? This doesn't happen in the Deep Dub because I think they, again, haven't mentioned yet in the Deep Dub that they're looking for the princess. But I was like, all right, so this is rough for Amy. Because when Luna first meets Amy, she's, oh, this girl's like an enemy. She's a monster from the Negaverse. When she first meets Ray, she's, wow, she could be the prince. Ouch. Ouch, Luna. What are you
Ow.
trying to say about Amy here?
Honestly.
She just wants to study hard. Yep, in the Japanese, the charms that people are getting are explicitly love amulets, which is very much Jedi's vibe. Let's see.
Do we want to talk about Ray's creepy grandpa?
Oh no, but we should.
Yeah.
Yeah. For whatever reason, then cartoon decided that Ray's grandpa, who in the manga is just a normal old man,
Everybody
is
told me he's hot in the manga.
he's
I mean, he's
just a normal old
just
guy.
a normal old guy. Yeah. He's not unhot,
Yeah,
but he's not, he doesn't look like Krillin like he does in the anime.
he's not this weird horny goblin.
Yep.
They decided that her grandpa is this tiny, wizened little horny man who's very handsy.
Yep.
And just lightly sexually harasses everyone. It's especially other young women. It's great. They really leaned right into the whole horny old man gag, and I wish that they hadn't.
Yep, it's extremely toned down in the Deep Dub. A great choice on their part, frankly. In the Japanese anime, he's explicitly, "Hey, cute girls, you want to work at my shrine? Oh, more cute girls. Hey, girls, what do you guys do after school? Do you want a job at the shrine?" And Ray's stop hitting on every girl. And these are all again 14-year-old. So yeah, they chose not to localize that way, and I'm okay with that change.
Yeah. Like, of all the changes, I think they were going for the Master Roshi.
Yeah, but but
What?
But
by way
no,
of being
thanks.
a creeper. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perhaps my favorite thing in Japanese that does not get localized the same way is how so when we're watching these episodes, we've begun what I'm calling Luna say something nice to Serena challenge. We will celebrate the first time Luna says anything nice to Serena. It has not happened yet. We're 10 episodes in. We'll see. In this episode, in the Japanese, the after Usagi gets on the bus and then gets thrown into the alternate bus dimension, and she's there with the Yoma, and it's her and Luna and just a bunch of unconscious people. Usagi is incredibly terrified. She's on the ground. She's frightened. She's sobbing. And she said, she's sobbing, going, "I'm so scared. I'm so scared." And then a second later, Luna goes, "You have to transform." And she goes, "I'm so scared. I'm so scared." And then she goes, "But I'll do it." And then she just gets up and transforms. And Luna has like a, "Oh, okay," look on her face. But she goes, "Yes, your carefree spirit and optimism are your true strengths." Like Luna's, "I'm rolling with it. Okay, yeah." And I'm like, no, she said something nice to her. She acknowledged that her carefree spirit and optimism are her true strengths. That was a rare Luna noticing a positive aspect of Usagi. And so I really like that. I'm sad that it does not appear in the deep dub.
Oh.
It's actually nice to see someone acknowledging this early on in the series, what we are going to come to understand about Sailor Moon, which is her willingness to, as they say, do it scared, which is one of the things that makes her such a incredible and inspiring heroine. It's we're already seeing it. Here's another instance of the early instances of people's powers being able to do cool things that never happen again. Sailor Moon throws her tiara at the Yoma and chucks it. And we know this thing's like a laser disc. The Yoma just catches it in midair and tries to chuck it away, which very impressive that she can do that. However, then the tiara then transforms, like it changes shape and changes from a closed disc into a frisbee donut and opens up and expands around the Yoma and like shrinks in and catches her. And I was like, since when can her tiara do that? Yet another tiara power that they've added for one episode. Very
The tiara
cool.
is
We'll never see it
sadly
again.
it's sadly so underutilized in later
Yep.
seasons.
Yep. Amy's crying and praying, holds the portal open. Tuxedo Mask very usefully saves the buses, and that's the episode.
Our hero saved the day at the end.
The end. Yep. Ta-da.
Oh, it's a good episode, though. Yes. Yes.
I liked it.
I liked it.
I liked it. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I think, honestly, it could have been a really good episode if it was maybe twice as long. I think there are a lot of opportunities in there and things that, frankly, had more room to breathe in the manga. And it felt flattened in the anime. It felt like the introduction of Sailor Mars didn't feel characterizing. It didn't feel like we were meant to feel invested in Rei as a character in the same way that, frankly, I think Amy's episode is more effective in making you feel like why we should care about this person. I think that it should have been very easy to give Rei that same level of audience empathy, and I think that they glossed over that in favor of hitting all the punchy beats. And as a result, I think that you don't immediately connect with Rei in the way that I think the audience deserves to. That's my take.
Yeah, I was gonna say that it's one of the few situations where I'm 100% like, no, the manga is better.
Yeah.
Is better. There are cases where I will certainly agree with people who are like, the manga moves too quickly, the henchmen don't particularly have strong personalities. It's tonally completely different, but this is a case where I'm like, no, the manga's storytelling for this story is better. Like the urban legend of the bus disappearing is more contiguous with the rest of the thing. Then there's a reason. Part of the conflict there is then because of this weird urban legend of these buses disappearing that's happening in front of the shrine, then people are accusing Rei of causing it.
Yep.
And so we have this conflict in which, like, because because part of the storytelling of the manga and Usagi's character and her best trait being her compassion and her ability to do it scared is that she doesn't accuse Rei of doing it when everyone else is, you're so creepy, you're weird and mystic, you live up in this temple, I bet you're the demon that's causing the bus to disappear, which clearly is not even remotely true. But Usagi is, that's horseshit. I know it's horseshit. You're too hot to be evil. Yep.
Usagi believes her. She
Yeah.
believes her. And I think you get so much more of the sense of how much stress Rei is under in the manga.
Yeah.
This is not that it's stressful because people are bothering her about a thing that she has no control over. It's stressful because this is her entire family's livelihood. And this is their reputation of everything that they do. And this is also their spiritual beliefs. And I think it's very emotionally difficult to have that be a thing that is being maligned. Um, so I think you get so much more of a sense of all of the stress that Rei is under in the manga, and the anime deserved more of that.
I actually will say, and I know we're on Deke, but I actually did like the way Crystal handled this episode. Which you guys haven't seen it?
I've seen it.
I've seen it in a million years ago, so
Yeah, and
I wouldn't be able to distinguish this from the manga.
okay, maybe we'll revisit it one day. React to Crystal.
When I'm willing to resuffer the animation of early seasons of Crystal.
This time it'll be on camera.
I'm not a drinker.
But she'll be like, will you make me a White Russian specifically for this?
Yep. Be like, Monica, make me a White Russian, please.
You're like, there's a drink I like, and that's the Monica making White Russian. I will make you a White Russian, and we can watch them.
We'll watch Crystal.
We can watch Crystal. Well, I having watched Cosmos with you, it made me retroactively mad that the whole thing wasn't just 10 beautiful movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cosmos was really good. It was really good.
And we're not saying how we found it.
We support.
Look, it's available.
We'll be buying copies when it's available.
Animation. And as soon as the localized version, whether it is dub or sub, is available, I will put my money towards supporting it.
Yeah, I would love a fancy box set.
Oh, I would love that.
I
want to own a physical copy.
Yeah,
Physical media is going to be all that we have left once they delete things off of streaming channels.
Oh man, you're not wrong.
the other note that I had was that, like, when they go to the shrine to buy the charms in the episode where they introduce Rei, that's just a thing Shinto temples do. That's like a cultural thing.
Yeah.
And I found it interesting that the Deke dub just ignored that. It didn't try to explain it to the audience, nor did it contextualize it or try to Americanize it. They're just going to the temple to get good luck charms, romance charms, and there's no context for, it's just a thing that you can go do. You can just go, they make good for it's my understanding is that you can just go to a Shinto temple and pay them some dollars, some yen, and that you just get a good fortune token. They do that little blessing, right?
Yeah.
I wish they would have
figured within the runtime of that episode, they had no shot of trying to localize that into something completely different, eat your hamburger, and B, no shot of trying to provide an in-depth enough explanation to suddenly educate an unfamiliar audience with the custom. So they were just like, nope, it's fine. They're going to the temple. We hear that you can get charms there.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
I remember being so confused as a kid. I couldn't put it together.
Yeah, and I think I was just like, must be a Japanese thing.
Yeah, I knew
Yeah.
it was a Japanese show. So I was just like, okay, this must be a thing that exists in Japan, which is correct.
Yeah.
So-
I don't care for when, we don't really do this a whole lot anymore, when the westernized version of a show coddles its Western audiences if you can't understand, like, a different religion.
Yeah.
Yeah, or a different social custom. I understand sometimes there's a cultural reference that's way too deep for a surface level explanation, or is just not funny to an English audience.
Yeah.
There's sometimes things that don't translate because they just don't translate.
Yeah.
Not to be a tautology about it, but like sometimes things just don't translate. But there are other things that you don't have to coddle your audience for because they can understand different food and different religions and different cultural practices. And sometimes like the politeness thing doesn't land because we don't have the same etiquette understanding.
Yeah, localization, it is an art, and there are some things that you have to find different ways to convey a similar vibe, a similar sentiment. Like you if you have a character that normally refers to themselves with boku and suddenly they change to watashi, that that's not we don't have a different informal versus formal feminine masculine self pronoun. So we don't
Mhm.
have that as a distinction, but the Japanese language does. And so
Yeah.
finding ways to capture that experience for the audience is an art. So sometimes they're just like, "No, we can't do it." They're just gonna have to accept that there's a temple and the temple has charms.
Yep. Yep. I
But
even
it,
like it when some manga have a bit at the back where it's like,
Yes.
this is what this means, or you would. It's customary for people to go to the Shinto temple to purchase a good luck charm or whatever, and then there's a little bit of. I love reading those because I'm a big
I
nerd.
really enjoy or the times when the translator will say this the literal meaning of this is this, but I've chosen to use this to convey such and such thing. I really enjoy that insight into what while not being a direct translation, is their attempt to translate this in the way that will be the most communicative.
Anyway, let's get started. We're talking about this was episode 8 was where we
uh,
left off. Nightmare in Dreamland, which
yes.
interestingly enough is also the Japanese title.
For once?
For once, yes, it's basically the same title.
Well, how wildly unlikely.
That is.
I think the Japanese title is slightly longer,
Oh,
like
it
it's
is.
Nightmare there's a thing before it. What is it?
I got it. It's Usagi versus
Yes, Nightmare in Dreamland. But
because
Nightmare in Dreamland, the Nightmare in Dreamland part consistent across English and Japanese.
but that plot, why that plot?
I would love to know. Really, would you like to do our summary of this episode since you've been summarizing this batch of episodes?
Absolutely. In this episode, Jadeite's newest plot is just that he's just gonna steal the energy of people who go to basically this amusement park. So he creates an amusement park for people to go to, and he's stealing their energy. They hear a rumor that within the first 3 days of being open, 50 people have disappeared at this amusement park. Went in, never came out. Very mysterious. Police are looking into it, but no one has shut down the amusement park yet. Just 50 missing persons, fully operational amusement park. Anyway, the girls are like, we should investigate this. Sounds nega fishy. And Serena and Ray bicker in a blandly generic way that they're going to continue to do for many episodes. In the Japanese version, they talk about how they're going to find the princess. That does not happen in the English version. So they go to this amusement park and they're trying to stay on the mission, but Serena really wants to actually enjoy the amusement park. She's like going on rides and things like that. They get into some fights. They're having an argument, and Ray pushes Serena down. Serena looks up, and there's like a giant animatronic lion. And so there's all these incredibly realistic and often very cute animatronics. Serena's into it. I'm frankly into it. They meet this beautiful princess woman who appears to be a park employee who says, "Oh, don't worry, these are all animatronics. They can't hurt you." She's wonderful. She's graceful. She's beautiful. She's gentle. She's kind. And so I love her. She's amazing. She gives me the worst, most rancid vibes I have ever gotten. They're very much in an argument about it. Things proceed. Luna's, we should totally split up into two teams. I will go with Amy. Ray and Serena, you go off together. This is a terrible idea. They
Terrible.
have, yep.
Terrible idea.
Ray and Serena decide that they're going to stalk Princess Dream, I think is her name, and see what's going on with her because Ray is just now, I want to keep an eye on her. She gives me the creeps.
The princess is Princess Dream in Japanese and the Dream Princess in English.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
All right. Following the Dream Princess. She's putting little kids on the animatronics. Ray's, you get off there. That's not safe. Drags the kid off. Usagi drags the kid back on. Drags the kid off. Drags the kid back on. This kid is like, what in the world is going on here? They get in a huge fight, and until a mom comes and is like, "Why are you pulling my little boy between you?" And then jump cut to the next scene where they are riding what we're going to call the Panda Express. This is a little train that goes through the amusement park driven by a panda. It's very cute. And
The race in the next picture is the little boy that got like tug award.
I
Yep,
also
that's
believe they
the
literally call it the Panda Express in the Deke dub.
they
Because
show
I have a note that's, is that, did they literally go for that joke in Japanese? The answer is no. No, they did not.
no, they do not. They do not do that in Japanese. Maybe they do in the US, but so
That's
yep, they
great.
discover that Darien is also, for reasons unknown to anyone, and that he never explains, riding on this child's train. They get into another little fight. Ray's, "Oh wow, I like that you two to bully Serena. Let's be romantic about it." Serena's, "Everyone's picking on me." And then they go off to investigate the dream castle where everyone's going. They run back into Luna, who has, for reasons unbeknownst to us, split up with Amy. Amy is inside the dream castle. The doors get shut. The dream princess pops out an apple, starts stealing everybody's energy. Amy's, "Oh no, she's stealing my energy," and she falls down. Ray and Serena break in. I think, in fact, Ray uses, in Deke, it's Mars Fire Ignite. In Japanese, it's, of course, Fire Soul. Uses that to just burn down the doors. They go inside, guns blazing, run down probably another generic hallway, encounter the villain. They're like, "How dare you?" She does a very creepy transformation into an even creepier yet great design
That's
villain.
わかりました。しばらくお待ちください。
where the entirety of the animation budget for this episode went.
100%.
100% it went into that transformation. Very cool scene. If I do recommend checking it out. If nothing else, again, the Japanese versions of these episodes are on Viz Media's YouTube channel for free. So you can always go there, watch the episode, see the creepy doll transformation. It's amazing.
Oh, it's worth it. Totally worth it. The price of admission for that one, yeah.
Yep. Princess Dream, the Dream Princess, chucks them into an illusory state where they both see Tuxedo Mask just riding in sexily on a horse. They both are instantly taken in. They're like, "Oh, Tuxedo Mask." They ride off on the horse with him. Then the three of them are riding on the carousel together. Luna's, "What in God's name is going on here?" But they are not paying attention to Luna. She is harshing the vibes. Real Tuxedo Mask, I believe, chucks a rose, interrupts it.
It's probably an illusion. Be on guard. It's Tuxedo Mask! He looks like a prince! Wait! It's a trap! Come back! He's not real! You're dreaming!
Perfect. They're completely off their guard now. I'll put the apple curse on them and finish them off.
They realize that this has been an illusion. They see Amy, Mercury transforms, Moon and Mars do a duo attack, kill the enemy, yada yada. They win. The
Good guys
episode's
win
over.
the end.
Good guys win the end. So it's another one of those.
Yeah, I had some notes. I couldn't remember if they fight over putting the kid on the bear in the Deke dub or not, but I think they do.
They do. They
They
do.
do. Okay.
Mhm.
In the Deke dub, does Ray get bitten by a snake? I
Yes,
think, does
she
Is that
does.
still in there?
Yes,
and does her
yes,
like
that's
arm
still in
turn to
there.
stone? Okay.
The arm turns to
Yes.
stone. Yep.
Well,
She
there were
is
some-
slowly
there's some-
turning to
some-
stone,
some-
and
some
she's
moments in this episode go real hard.
yeah, they absolutely do.
Oh, and the weird part is they censor out so much of it. And yet this stuff, they're like, this is great.
From my notes, one of the notes that I had is that, again, in the Japanese, this is one of the first episodes in which they talk about trying to figure out how they're going to find the princess. And they
Yes.
realize they don't really have anything to go on with that, but they're like, we need to keep on to that. But since we don't know what to do, let's work on other mission, which is just like a very delightful moment. Is that the first time that we see the lion that we don't yet know is an animatronic? It pops out. Usagi is desperately terrified. She jumps on top of Ray's shoulders and grabs her hair in Ratatouille formation. Ray is not appreciating this, but it is distinctly Ratatouille. She has 2 handfuls of her hair like she is going to steer.
Yeah, there was I have a note where I couldn't. They're sitting on the park bench, and in the Deke dub, Ray is just being real mean to her. Like
Yeah.
she's mean to her in Japanese too. But she's being just like they just make her
Just
like so
mean.
catty,
Mhm.
so catty. And I was trying to remember what like she's being bitchy. I don't remember what about, but in Japanese, Usagi holds up a rabbit and is just like, "It's a bunny," and then Ray is, "Yeah, we know your name means bunny."
Which
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
they had to
Which-
change for
which,
the
yeah.
Deke version because her name isn't Bunny.
Bunny.
But
Yeah, which is less mean than
Right.
whatever the
Mhm.
fuck she says in English.
In English, it's probably some like, "Oh, it's as stupid as you" type of a thing.
Yeah.
I think that's a close to the line. It's real mean.
It's real
Mhm.
mean. They're real fucking mean.
It's just
Uh,
real mean.
We also have another instance of Usagi just letting Mamoru have it in public.
Oh,
And
yes.
embarrassing the shit out of him for being a weirdo. And
Mhm.
frankly, with the way that they have him behave, he deserves it.
He is just aggressively mean to her, and she's, "What are you even doing on a children's ride?" He's, "I have my reasons." She's, "You don't have any friends, do you?" This man has no friends, and he's just getting off the next up. I mean, like, she very much won this one.
There's also a moment that I have noted down where after the princess's creepy transformation from adorable, sweet little princess dream to spooky haunted carnival monster doll. Also, she has a name. I don't think she has a name in English. I don't remember her introducing herself.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think
well, I
she
mean,
has
she's-
a
she's-
second
she's called-
Yoma name in
Yeah, her name's
Deke.
Murito in Japanese. She has a name, and she introduces
Dream princess.
Dream Princess, and then she transforms into the monster, and then she introduces herself by another name. Her name's Morito in Japanese, and the doll in Japanese speaks in this stilted, formal voice. She has a completely different voice, which I don't think they did in English, other than maybe have the voice actor use the same voice and speak a little bit more sinisterly, which I
Right.
think tracks. But the evil doll, I really like the fact that there's a little bit of a Japanese language humor where she goes from being like, "Oh, this sweet, nice princess," to being like weirdly stiff and formal. And she transforms and then immediately is just, "Hello, my name is Marito. How are you?" And Usagi is, "Oh, it's nice to meet you," compulsively responding with the correct, polite thing. And it's just like a little bit of Japanese etiquette humor that doesn't particularly translate. But I would have liked it if she had, in English, had still introduced herself, but like in a creepy way, because I get that localization. And then Usagi was still like, "Oh, nice to meet you," because that punchline would be just as good in English.
It
Yes.
was. One of my notes in here says, "The cute animatronics, are they just real?" I don't think they ever turn into other enemies or anything like that. I don't remember
No,
that
I
happening.
think they're just real. I
They
think
just
they're
might
just,
be real animatronics.
Yep.
That are really impressive.
Yeah.
Well, and this was a super successful plot. Once again, like 10 out of 10, got a bunch of humans.
Yeah,
I think-
Jadeite's last couple ditch efforts were some of his best work.
I think the thing about this one that probably makes it not as good of a plot as some of the others is people noticed real quickly that people were going missing. We'll
Yeah.
see with the episode after this, I think, is a stronger villain plot. Now, it's also not Jadeite's idea. But in this one, the cops are really investigating within after some people have started going missing. Not that the cops are particularly useful, but this is he's done it a little bit high profile. But again, his concepts of where he's going to get energy from, phenomenal. He is absolutely plugged into the pulse of society and of what people are into. A little note here is that I think in both Deke and in the original Japanese, Ray points out that she thinks Darien looks like Tuxedo Mask.
She does, yeah.
Twigs that one real fast.
She's that guy. She leans over to Usagi and she's like, guy looks kind of like Tuxedo Mask and Usagi's. No, fuck that
Ew,
loser.
No, hate him.
Him.
How could you compare him to Tuxedo Mask?
Yes, this man who looks exactly like Tuxedo Mask.
Yup.
But I get how your friend being so like, no, he could never be him could make you doubt yourself for knowing the obvious.
Oh, absolutely.
sure.
Absolutely. One of the notes that I think we all agreed on when we were first watching it was there's a shot of Jedi with his creepy tower of drained victims. Very sinister looking. You can see them on a spiral
yeah.
staircase all collapsed behind him. It is very effective. That's the budget for the backgrounds in this episode went into that.
There's a good sinister door shot. They like approach the candy castle. It's like I forget what it's actually called, the Palace of Sweets or something like that. It's like the big Disney castle, right? But it's made of
Yeah.
candy. And there's some animation budget spent to that place's doors opening ominously. That's a good shot. I know that we were talking about, there's a weird plot hole in the dub where like all of a sudden they're all back together. I don't know if a frame was cut, but in the Japanese, because I was paying attention to this, there is explicitly a part where they just meet back up in front of the castle.
Yeah, Luna is there and Amy is inside. And I guess
yeah.
so the implication in the Japanese is that Amy was like, yeah, I'll go in because I'm a human. You're not going to be allowed to go in because you're a cat.
But why'd they cut it?
Not that Luna hasn't gone plenty of places, but
Not that cats don't
apparently-
just go places they're not supposed to be.
Right.
Not that she couldn't be like, oh, this is just one of the animatronics.
Right? Yeah. I don't know.
Like Luna was allowed to go everywhere else in the amusement park, but not inside.
yeah,
But yeah,
I was,
so Luna was waiting outside for them.
yeah, I guess I read between the lines that, I don't know, maybe they had planned a rendezvous or something like that, and that Luna was waiting for them on purpose.
That could
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, that was because they're like, they'd meet back up outside it. I picked up on my like connecting those two dots was like, oh, even though they didn't show us, that was an agreed upon place for them to meet. And Luna is waiting for them so that they can all team up and go inside, but Amy is already in there. And they were not expecting Amy to get got so quick.
A couple notable moments in here. This is one of the very cool instances of Sailor Mars using Ray's Akurio Taisan. And this is also an instance where Moon and Mars do a duo attack. So Moon throws her tiara and then Mars lights it on fire. It becomes very glittery and hot and does the same thing it always does, but presumably more. One thing that I do believe Deke cut was there's a shot where Mars is attacking from above, and we would consider this a panty shot. And I believe Deke cuts that out. It's an action shot. I didn't find it particularly lascivious, but I also don't think there's super harm in cutting it out either. It was a 2 seconds of downward attacking and you see the bottom of her bodysuit. To me, I always pictured the bodies as like a one-piece thing. So I don't think of it as being underwear. I think of it as like sort of part of a unitard.
The bottom of a bodysuit, yeah.
Right.
That
so
is
like,
also
to me,
how
I
I have
never
always
thought of it
interpreted that.
as underwear, but I guess Deke cut that out, which fine. Those are my notes on the Dreamland episode.
I do got some trivia from the Sailor Moon Wiki, which says Dreamland will appear a second time in episode 32. So we'll be looking back out for it.
Okay.
Interesting.
By the time we
Um,
get to episode 32 in a few months, we're gonna be like, oh my god, remember when?
We're going to be connecting the dots. There's going to be like a
Mhm.
whiteboard out. It'll be great.
And
And
even
then-
though we saw a bunch of it disintegrate, that implies that Dreamland, either someone is copying the same idea, or that it's an amusement park that just exists, that the bad guys just keep fucking.
I think it's just a theme park that exists that the bad guys keep fucking with.
That's
I
really
genuinely
funny.
think that's what's going on. And then the only other trivia is this is the first instance of 3 instances in which Moon Tiara action will be combined with another Senshi attack. Yeah, so the other 2 will be in episodes 21 and 24. And that's like the big fun trivia.
Awesome.
Fun trivia.
So I knew it was pretty rare that they do combo attacks, but I didn't realize that Moon Tiara action comboing with another attack was that rare that we're only going to see it 3 times.
I feel like I saw it more somehow.
There are more combo attacks in general. A lot of them are inner combo attacks, or they are combo attacks with presumably Sailor Moon's later powers. Because she eventually stops relying on Moon Tiara action and starts relying on many of her other sparkly attacks.
Oh, and just to prove it's not me, it's actually in the comments. The line is, Usagi, isn't this bunny cute, right? Ray, I bet that thing is smarter than you.
Yeah. She was just
Like,
trying to enjoy a cute bunny. And Ray was like, "You're dumb."
roast.
Yeah, her line in Japanese is basically just, "Yeah, we get it. Your name is Bunny,"
Mhm.
which feels a little bit more like a friend giving another friend shit
Yeah.
than the original line. So everybody, yeah, we all got a friend who busts your chops maybe a little bit too much, and sometimes their relationship feels like that, and I appreciate that, but I don't particularly care for the parts where she's just fucking mean to her for no reason.
No
She's mean.
reason.
If you're gonna, I don't know, if you're gonna be the person if you're gonna tease your friend in a slightly mean way, you should at least be funny. The other person should laugh at what you're making fun of them for.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're just being a fucking bully.
Great. So they only had one change that they list in the Sailor Moon wiki for the deep dub.
Okay.
They said in the English dub of the episode, the background music used in the scene where the Dream Princess headless body spins around like a music box was Bram's lullaby.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
We do know that the music is different because of the rights. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I guess they pulled it from
I
every.
guess Rob was like, I don't think we should be composing music for this. Let's use Brahms. Like, you know what, Rob? I got your back. I'm with you. I will follow you down any road. Trust you.
Oh. Oh gosh, such a different title for the next one. I'm curious to see what we all have to say because honestly, these are some of the funnest filler.
yeah, the Nightmare in Dreamland, I think it's a pretty cool episode. I think it's a pretty cool episode of
Mhm.
some of the filler we've sat through. It's some of the more entertaining. Like we're like making a little bit of a watch guide while we're doing this too. This is one that it's not adding anything, but if you want to watch it, it's pretty cool.
I would say that's true.
So episode 9, which is episode 12 in Japanese, is called Cruise Blues, and yes, the Japanese title is I Want a Boyfriend: The Luxury Cruise Ship is a Trap.
Kiss.
Flawless.
I'm so confused by that title. Like somehow
What?
it makes them more confusing.
It's really two very different thoughts. I'm not sure about that use of a colon, but
I was literally thinking the same thing. I'm like, because the clauses aren't related to each other, there
Mhm.
shouldn't be a colon there.
there shouldn't be a colon there, correct? It is a little bit confusing, but it's not in English. Okay.
Also,
Why don't you take away the summary?
all right, you got it. Pretty basic summary for this one. The twist in this one is that this is actually not Jedi's idea at all. This Yoma is one of Beryl's direct subordinates, does not report to Jedi, but she has the hots for Jedi, wants Jedi to notice her. So she's Jedi. I've got an idea that we should do. Our scheme is going to be a romantic cruise. We're going to get all these couples to get on a cruise ship. They're going to be so full of romanticness because of how romantic it is that we will get all of their energy. And he sounds like a banger to me. Let's go with it. And she's, if we go with it, are you gonna notice me? And he's maybe, because he's got so many other prospects. Clearly, obviously the minute that our heroes hear about this cruise, they want to go on the cruise. Serena desperately wants to go on the cruise. Melvin turns out has tickets to the cruise. Didn't know that anyone would want to go to the cruise. Gave them away to other people. He was like, I can't go on this cruise anyway. I'm a minor. That's not going to stop Serena. She finds out that there's like a lotto where in the lottery, if you win this lottery, you could win 2 tickets for the cruise. She goes, she plays it like 10 times. She loses every time. She's walking away. She runs into Ray. She tells Ray what's happening. Ray's, this is the dumbest idea I've ever heard. Walks up to the lotto stand, immediately, literally uses her psychic powers to rig the game so that she wins the cruise, so that she can specifically not take Serena with her. Serena's, you don't even have a boyfriend. We could just go together. And Ray's, I will find a boyfriend. I'm absolutely not going with you. Amy walks up and Ray is perfect. Amy, I need to talk to you over here. She's Amy, go on this cruise with me. But Serena was really excited about it. This seems weird. Ray's, no, it'll be time for us to get to know each other as friends. We'll have a great time. We can find boyfriends. Takes Amy as her date, basically. But our intrepid heroine, Serena, is not to be stopped. She will get on this cruise, and she knows exactly how to do it. She's going to do it by using the disguise pen. Uses the disguise pen, turn me into a beautiful photographer. It is once again one of her many phenomenal disguises. She's got this little short haircut, really cute outfit, great look on her. Sneaks on the boat. Jadeite is also in disguise as Jadeite with a black wig and way too much bronzer.
Way too much bronzer.
Way too much bronzer. The Yoma is there behind him. She's still trying to get him to fall in love with her. Ray and Amy spend some time walking around, lamenting that they are the only lesbians, single people. Meanwhile, Serena and Luna are investigating below decks. They almost immediately get caught by Jadeite, who's probably Captain J, if I had to guess. I don't think he gives his name, but he's probably Captain J.
Yeah, I don't think he has a terrible alias in this episode.
I don't think he
If
does,
he did,
but I bet he
it
does.
would be like Captain J.
Yep.
100%.
He's like weirdly attracted to Serena because he's like, this girl, she just seems so familiar to me somehow. I just want to see more about her. But then we need to get you back to find whoever you came here looking for. I have to go. I'm needed. And then they go back to the decks of the ship. They summon an evil disco ball that is draining the energy of all of the couples. The energy drain doesn't work on Amy and Ray because they're too single. And they get back together with Sailor Moon arrives. The three of them transform. They fight the enemy. They destroy the enemy. It's very sad. Jadeite's, yeah, but I'm going to kill you all now. And then before he can do that, Beryl summons him back because he's been summoned back and the danger is over. The ship turns back into a poop cruise. This is basically a cruise ship that they must have dredged up from a sunken wreck because it is clearly in a rusty state of disrepair. Everybody gets rescued by the Coast Guard. Heroes win the end. That's the summary.
There's a lot of stuff I like about this episode. Actually,
Same.
I like
Same.
this episode.
I think it's a strong episode.
Yeah, this is a strong episode. Again, it's not adding anything to the plot. It doesn't follow the plot of the manga. It doesn't even really have good character development. Some of the filler in later arcs, we're going to get some really excellent character development. None of these episodes really are hitting that, but this is just a good episode. The plot is fun. The monster is fun, and we get a bunch of kind of cool background details. This monster, whose name is Titis?
Titus. Yeah, Titus. Sorry.
Titus.
Titus spelled T-I-Z.
Yeah, we're trying to find any way to not pronounce it titties.
Titties, yes. This is his monster, Titties. Titties wants to kiss Jadeite so bad.
So bad.
She is
So
down bad for him. I really like the idea that there are, like, Yoma who report to Beryl.
I was going to say, that's the thing that I think this episode adds, is that it's characterizing for Beryl, and it is characterizing for sort of the structure of the Negaverse as it's being presented to us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We will
it's really
see it
interesting.
30 to 40 episodes from now when we see the Doom and Gloom girls. But yeah, Beryl has Yoma, always these very competent women, it seems, that report just directly to her and that get the job done.
Yeah.
Which, and since when and why do you not utilize them more?
Yeah. So in English, when Usagi's like kind of hanging on his arm and he's like, why does she make me feel this way? In Japanese, he says, why does she make me feel cautious?
Yeah, because I feel weirdly cautious. I feel uncomfortable around her. Like,
yeah.
it's very
Very different. The context is completely different. Yeah. As he's sensing her Sailor Moon-ness, as opposed to him being like, oh, she's cute in English. Why does this girl make me feel this way? Though I interpreted his line in English as her sort of Sailor Moon-ness overpowering his evil.
Yeah.
And I think both hit, but in two very different ways.
Yes, both are very differently interesting. There's the English version plants a seed of how this interestingly could have played out in the long term if Jadeite hadn't, spoilers for the next episode, died. So this is one that I think you could spin off theory crafting of if you want to play with that idea long term. how does that play out if Jadeite stays alive, does more schemes, keeps encountering these disguised girls that are hitting him with this weird innate feeling of responsibility? It could be this interesting concept just from that sort of throwaway scene that was translated in a different way.
Also, we see that Titties, being Beryl's subordinate, is a magical badass. This is her plot. This is not his idea. This is her idea.
He's gone along.
It's a good
Yeah,
idea.
and
She
like,
does all the work.
yes, she does all the work, and also she crafts this impressive illusion and implies that she also dredged the shipwreck.
Yeah, she has water-based powers. She
Power,
can
yeah.
control water, and she has subordinate Yoma that work for her.
Yeah,
that
I like
are
her
these like little
goopy.
water fish monsters. Kind of do this in the one scene.
Her little goopy putty patrol.
Little goopy, yeah. Yes, yep.
So cute.
She is a Yoma that has controlled water, dredged up this ship, has these subordinate Yoma that work for her. She's very powerful and very competent, and she blows it all because she was horny for
Jadeite.
this loser.
Yep. Yep.
Girl.
Why?
We're out of
Why?
he's out. You were out of his league. He's out of your league.
Yeah, he was
No,
out of her league.
he's
For
out of her
sure.
league. Yep.
So it looks like
Um,
there was one change from the manga is in that the Dark Kingdom has no Yoma who are considered more important in the status above other Yoma.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
make
that's not a thing.
the Yoma in the manga are basically just like clay dolls. They're not like characters, which is interesting too in itself, but in a different way.
Yes.
I think it's a cool concept.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. We also see in the 90s show, which I actually really like, that there's this assembly of creepy goons every time we're in Beryl's skull throne
Mhm.
room.
Yeah.
In the somewhere deep beneath the earth or in an alternate dimension. And
Yeah.
the henchman is always standing in front of this shadowy group of assorted creeps in the background. And the implication that Titties was maybe in that lineup at some point.
Yes.
Oh, that could
Yeah.
be.
There was another, in my opinion, I found this to be a fairly major change in how they translated a scene in this episode, which is that in the Deke dub, after Serena and Luna go undercover in disguise and go into the bowels of the ship to look around, Luna pops out of this big, it's like a camera case, like a big box.
Yeah.
And she's complaining about having been transported in the box and she doesn't like being in the box and oh, she could have suffocated in there in the box and blah blah blah. That never happens in the Japanese. In the Japanese, she hops out of the camera case like this was clearly her plan to get aboard by hiding in the camera case. And is all right, so where do we think we are? I think we're in the bowels of the ship. And they're just like discussing the plan, her and Usagi. Like they're just having
Yeah,
a functional mode of discussing the plan. Then this continues in the Deke dub when Captain J then appears. She's, what are you doing down here? As he's appearing, Luna immediately dives back into the box and shuts it. In the Deke dub, there's a scene of Luna cringing and she's like, oh no, I'm in this stupid box again. In the Japanese, when Luna is cringing, she's saying, this man is giving me a very evil vibe. Like this has nothing to do with complaining about what Serena has done. So this is another one where it feels like they made a localization change just for Luna to be meaner to Serena again for no reason. Like none of
Yeah.
her to Serena in that
So-
scene is in the original Japanese.
I have a note about that too, because when they get to like the depths of the ship and Luna comes out of the box and like she's strategizing with Usagi in Japanese and being mean to her in English, she specifically points out that she hears no engine noise. That's not correct.
Yeah.
There's no engine noise. That's not right. And Usagi is, who cares?
Look, Usagi's doing her best to be on point at this point.
Maybe it's
and
just quiet.
they still don't, they still don't know that there's a negaplot at this point.
Yeah, well,
Luna's still
Usagi's
mad
just
that they're on the
quiet,
ship in
though.
general.
Usagi is maybe it's just quiet, and Luna is no, there's no sound at all. And Usagi is maybe it's just a fancy engine. Like she's kind of who gives a shit.
It's the Tesla of both.
Yeah. So I thought that was an interesting detail too that they glossed over, which takes just a little bit of the horror out of the episode.
Yeah,
And
I think,
I like when the Deke dub is funny, but I don't like it when the Deke dub takes away from some of the things about the original that are just a little bit scary.
And things that provide more context, because if you don't have a line like that, then until you get to the very end scene where the ship turns back into the poop cruise, you're trying to figure out what has just happened and why it suddenly has turned brown and gross, because you haven't been given much context. But if you've
Yeah.
already been given the context that the ship isn't operating under normal power, then you put that together with the fact that we know that this Yoma specifically had these water control powers. And then you put that together with the idea that at the end, it turns out that the ship was like a sunken wreck all along, and all of that suddenly makes sense.
Yeah, it's an important bit of foreshadowing that is notably absent from Geek Dub. Trying to think if I have any other notes. The big one was like I really liked. Oh, the other change that I have noted is when Ray is like going to town on the steak, which they call
Yes.
pork chops. It's very clearly prime rib. It's
Mhm.
not like Americans don't fucking know what steak is. Like,
Right.
I thought that was such a weird change where you've eaten 7 pork chops. First off, she's clearly eating steak. We know what steak is. Japan's famous for it. We know that. It's not weird. You could have just said steak.
Yeah.
But Ami is like, could you eat a little less loud, please? In Japanese, which is funnier.
But then, like, when there's an announcement comes on the PA that's come to see our demonstration on the main deck, Ray's, do you think we should go to that? And Amy literally says, anything to get out of here.
The new friendship, the newest of new friendships.
Yeah. There, a lot of the time, like, find the Deep Dub's humor funnier. They're real real good at a punchline. But in that scene's definitely funnier in Japanese.
There are, I think there have been some they just deliver the humor along the way as they go jokes in the Japanese version that I have found absolutely hilarious. I'm recalling back to the Cram School episode and Beryl and Jade's conversation where they are just like mystified by the horrors of the Cram School.
And wow, the Japanese education system's horrifying, isn't it? And they're like,
Yeah.
Why do they do that?
It's truly evil, Your Majesty.
So yeah, again, if you're looking for episodes to watch, this one's another cool one that does not quite fit the formula. This is a rare one where you're seeing a Yoma just showing her own initiative and saying, I want to hatch a plot. Let's go and do that. Much like the cut episode that was an interesting break from formula where they never get to execute the scheme. This is one where the scheme is not originated by one of the Shitano, and it's a pretty cool one. I like this
I
episode.
think between the two, that other episode with the tape, right? We're talking about the evil cassette tape.
Yeah, evil
That-
cassette tape.
Such a fucking interesting episode, but it's so boring. Like,
It is.
despite-
It is so badly
despite-
paced. Yep.
I know, just despite all of the high points, that episode is a snooze. This
Mhm.
one is not. This one's exciting.
Yep.
It's exciting. It's tightly paced. It's got good foreshadowing. It's got a cool plot. It's a little break from the box standard formula, and it executes it particularly well.
This one, I
introduces-
think this is just one of the
This is a good
solid
episode.
episodes.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is definitely, if you're curating your watch list, P recommends. Ding.
Okay, so that has been I Want a
Oh.
Boyfriend. The cruise is a trap.
I have one more note. I forgot.
Yeah.
Okay. So the one thing that they 100% cut out of the deep dub is that when they're describing the cruise ship that Teti's dredged up and turned into a fake cruise ship, they describe it explicitly as being able to hold 666 passengers.
Oh yes. From the deep dub.
Yeah, because
They
the
were
devil
like,
number.
too satanic.
No, too evil for.
Yeah, no.
American
Japanese version was
afternoon
like, yeah,
TV.
that's the point. It's supposed
Yeah,
to be
it's the
creepy.
evil number. Come on, man. Come on.
That's not funny.
Yeah, I thought I wrote that down immediately. I was
Yeah.
like, too devil for afternoon TV, but
Oh.
very funny. Anyway,
So we move on to the next episode.
Yep, this will be our last one for the night.
All right. So this is Fight to the Finish.
yeah,
Or
Right.
in Japanese.
Jadeite fucking bites it.
Yeah. Yeah, if you were wondering if the title spoils it for the fact that Jedi fucking bites it, it does.
It depends indeed.
Sure does.
I can't remember what it is specifically because I didn't write it down.
Sorry, I got it. Girls Unite, the end of Jedi.
Oh yes, okay, yep.
One last
Girls Unite,
Pleasant
Jedi
Road.
fucking bites it.
Yep. yeah, you want to take away that? This is
Sure,
also a good
absolutely.
episode, but
This is another strong episode in its way. It certainly is a very interesting break from formula. Really cool. So this episode starts off Beryl's in her throne room, and she's Jedi. Now, you've gathered just a shit ton of energy for the Negaverse, and that's good. But you've also failed me many times, and you haven't killed the Sailor Scouts. It's bad. I'm gonna need you to do that right now. Stop failing me. Go kill them. Take care of it, or I'm going to give you the sentence of eternal sleep. And so Jed's like, all right, so I guess I need to do something. Jump cut to Serena. She's like looking at the night sky. She's naming some constellations. She's, oh yeah, there's Lyra. Oh yeah, there's Cygnus. Oh yeah, et cetera, Sagittarius. And then she's, oh yeah, there's Motoki. Oh yeah, there's Tuxedo Mask. Yet another episode where she's hot for multiple people, and Motoki is one of them, and Tuxedo Mask is another one. While she's looking out the window, she sees a giant image of Jadeite just hovering in the sky, and he's
Yes.
basically just calling out all the scouts. He's, everybody meet me tomorrow at 1 a.m. at the airport. And then he like pretends to burn all of Tokyo alive in an illusion. This is just an illusion, but this is what I'll do if you don't meet me. Ray, by the way, everyone in Tokyo can see this. It's all over the news. Cops are going to be there. Everyone is talking about it. School kids are planning to go because they want to see the action. That feels very realistic to me.
oh, very, yeah.
Very.
100%. Ray's, we should absolutely go. He's calling us out. We got to go. Amy's, no, once again, I'm going to be the person who says that we need a plan because I think we need a plan. And Ray's, come on, Serena, you're with me on this, right? We don't need a plan. And Serena's, it sounds scary and I think we shouldn't go. Anyway, everyone is talking about how they want to go see it. Serena's, no, this sounds super, super scary. I really don't want to do this. She's walking home. She's telling her woes to Andrew, and he laughs and and she's, oh, are you making fun of me too? And he's, no, I just think that they're right that it doesn't sound anything like you because you're someone who always you always do your own thing and follow your heart. Like you have your own point of view. And I think that's fantastic because as usual, only green flags. Immediately she leaves, she kicks her foot forward, her shoe flies off, it hits Darian in the head. He shows up, he's super mean to her. He says something she's don't be mean about. Motoki, she starts crying. Everyone on the street starts looking at him for making this girl cry. He gets really embarrassed and uncomfortable and is, anyway, I'm gonna just gotta bye, here's your shoe. And ducks it again.
Like
Another big
move.
win for Serena. It's fantastic. Yep, that's the scene. Smash cut back to the next night. We can see all the cops that are wandering around. Jadeite shows up. He randomly has giant spotlights on himself because he's very extra. Puts all the cops to sleep. The girls show up in their civilian guises for some reason. I don't think that's a good choice on their part, but they do. And there's like an airport shuttle waiting for them, and the doors just open when they get there. And they're like, all right, I guess this is our ride. And they all get onto the airport shuttle, and it takes them there. You see them standing tensely on the shuttle for a while. Very cool scene. Shuttle gets there. There are cops there. The cops start to attack them. The girls run from the cops. They transform. Mercury uses her computer to discover that the cops, it's fine, they're actually just clay golems, and Mars is awesome. I'm going to torch them. So she does. And Jadeite shows up. He's, now I've learned your secret identities. They're scared for half a second. Then he starts telekinetically chasing them with 3 airplanes. There's an amazing joke in the Japanese version. We'll get back to that. I don't think it happens in the English version. They're being chased by the planes. They're very scared. Tuxedo Mask throws a single rose, and this stops the planes, amazingly. Tuxedo Mask and Jadeite have a showdown. They leap into the air like they're going to fight. Jadeite dive bombs Tuxedo Mask into the water, and unceremoniously, Tuxedo Mask has died. He does not resurface. Jadeite resurfaces. He's great news. Tuxedo Mask is dead. Nothing standing between me and you. Then he's chasing them with the planes again. They're like, what are we going to do? Let's create a diversion. Mercury uses her fog to confuse Jadeite as to what's happening. Plane's chasing Mercury. Plane is chasing Moon. Mars pops out of nowhere. He doesn't see her. She Akurio Taisans him, slaps it on his back like a kick me sign. They zap him. They're kicking his butt. He's about to get run down by one of the planes. So he flees to the Negaverse. Beryl's, you came crawling back to me? And he's like, wait, but I know their identities. She's, yeah, it's too late. Crystallizes him anyway, sends him to the eternal sleep, summons Nephrites. Oh, don't worry, I'll do a much better job than that loser. Jump cut back to the girls. They find out Tuxedo Mask is still alive. He tells them nothing and leaves, and the episode ends. Jedi died. Rest in peace.
Yep.
Rest
And
in
then
peace, Bozo. Max was coming over and making eyes at me.
Hello, sweet Max. Hello, sweet Max. We love him.
handsome.
He's so good, except when he's bad.
Yeah, he does have a large amount of badness for a person his size.
Sailor Moon, though, in that episode did leave us with some of the prettiest screens. Look at this one.
Oh, yeah. Yep. That of Tuxedo Mask jumping off into the night.
Yep, so pretty.
Having shown up, thrown a rose, almost
Yep.
died, and then left.
I believe he says his parting words without moving his mouth, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About right. Believe in yourself.
So Jadeite is in fact sentenced to, quote, eternal sleep in Japanese. That's
Yeah.
consistent.
Yeah.
I thought maybe that was a euphemism and Beryl was like, I'm going to fucking kill you. But no.
No. It's the sentence of eternal sleep.
Eternal sleep.
And
Yeah.
she's, you know about the sentence of eternal sleep? And he's, I do. Shoot, I
I-
want that.
They really do throw the idiot ball right at her head. Because I know who they are, and she's like, who cares?
You're gonna save so many episodes.
Classic villain move.
Yeah,
Classic.
And then Nephrite coming in.
Galaxia would have heard them out and then killed them.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
You're right.
Yeah, it would not have spared them. She would be like, go on. And then they would
Go
be
on.
like, here you go. She'd be like, cool.
Good.
Oh,
Bye.
You still failed me though.
God, are you guys ready for the trivia? It's
Sure.
tough.
Yeah.
So silly. This episode includes a small reference to RoboCop movie, as Sailor Mercury's Mercury goggled had the English word arrest mode in the lower corner.
That is charming. Delightful.
Oh my gosh. And then the phrase quoted by Jedi, the life of a flower is short and full of suffering, was also used by Sailor Moon in the Sailor Moon R movie. Sailor Moon R the movie, and in episode 121 of the anime.
Interesting.
So apparently I got a big chance of that quote.
Okay. Yeah.
My notes include Motoki remains a real one. And in the subs I watched on YouTube, Jadeite says, I'll send you pathetic kids to the depths of hell, which sounds like a line that's from the deep dub, but isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mamoru is like real mean in Japanese in this episode, which is not usually his MO. He's usually just standoffish and maybe a little bit of a dick, but he's mean in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
really
he's real mean. Not usually his MO, but he's nasty and then he gets publicly shamed.
As well he should.
I couldn't remember what Fire Soul was originally called. Or Mars Fire Ignite was just like, what the fuck is her first attack called? That was one of my notes from when we were watching. I have a note from when we were watching through the first time that says, what the fuck are these two actually fighting about? And I don't remember what that meant.
Probably Usagi and
It was
Ray.
probably
really
Usagi
fast.
and Ray, but I couldn't remember what scene that was from. Or
Maybe
what-
before they go to Jedi.
Maybe. I didn't write it down. I like the airplane thing. This episode's very memorable. Jedi gets hoisted by his own 747 petard is like one of the most memorable parts of the beginning of the series.
It absolutely
Um,
is.
I think this is definitely, you want to watch the finales of all the henchmen deaths, and this is a good one.
Yeah.
So if you're assembling your watch guide, episode 13 is one of the ones to keep.
Agreed. Some of my notes here. One of my notes is in the initial scene where Jedi is doing his blast email call out to the Senshi telling him to meet him at the airport. And he does the illusion where he's burning all of Tokyo alive if they don't do it. My note says, could he do that? I'm like, does he have the power to burn all of Tokyo alive? Or is it just a thing that he's pretending he can do?
Yeah, we don't know, and we're not going to find out.
We're not going to find out. Let's see. Specifically, the thing that Motoki says is he says part of Usagi's charm is that she has her own point of view and he likes girls with unique personalities.
Yeah,
He's
so
just-
nice.
Just top tier. He really
Green
is.
flags.
Let's see. Oh, so one of the amazing lines in this in Japanese, I don't think they included in the deep dub, but it is a phenomenal exchange, is right after Jedi starts telekinetically throwing 3 planes at them. They're like, "Oh my god, we can't stop these planes. What do we do?" Mars goes, "Then I think it's time for Mars Fire Soul." And Luna goes, "No! Do you know how expensive planes are? The 3 of you could work jobs for the rest of your lives and never afford a plane." And Mercury goes, "Then I guess we have to keep running." The exchange is hilarious. They've never shown regard for property destruction before. Absolute banger of a exchange. Absolutely loved it.
That brings in so many implications too. That's
It
hilarious.
it does. They're leaving property damage rampant in their wake.
There's also a very funny moment where they're being chased by the security guard putty patrol. We're all dressed up like cops in Japanese, and Usagi's like, "Why does our government keep hiring these kind of people?" And I'm like, "Oh, I love this little commentary on police brutality."
Yep.
Japanese police brutality.
Yep. In the Japanese, part of one of the things that I do think is I wish that they had kept it for this episode, especially given that the Japanese title is, of course, Girls
Girls
Unite,
Unite.
Jedi fucking dies, Jedi fucking bites it. The Girls Unite is more impactful in this episode with the Japanese, where it's not just that they come up with a 3-person plan that they execute. It's also that, so right after Jedi dive bombs Tuxedo Mask in the ocean and he fucking drowns, Jedi floats out of the ocean and he's, "There you go. Tuxedo Mask is dead, girls. Your last hope of being saved is now gone. Now there's nothing you can do." And Mars and Mercury and Moon are like, "What an outdated notion. Girls don't need men to save them. What kind of relic of the past are you? We don't need any of that. Girls can do anything. We're gonna show you." Which is this delightful, delightful little exchange that I think helps show the fact that they have finally been united as a trio in how much they just want to kick Jedi's ass. How much they're just like, "He's the worst. We all will work on solving this problem."
He kind of has been up until this point.
Yeah. All right. So one of the things that if you watch on Patreon our live reaction, one of the things that confused me was that as they're running from the planes, they're like, "Wait a minute, we have to come up with a plan. Usagi, you're gonna be the bait. Sharina, Moon, you're gonna be the bait." And after that, it never really explained what the plan was or how their executing of the plan worked to stop Jedi and to run him over with planes. And so I was like, I don't really understand. Was the plan that in the fog, they'll get the planes to chase them and Jedi won't know that the planes are being chased towards where he is? That's what I thought was maybe going on because I couldn't tell what the plan was. Having watched it a second time because of my Japanese rewatch, here's what I think the plan is. The plan is the first plane is already chasing Sailor Moon, and all she has to do is be like, "I'm Sailor Moon, I'm dumb and ineffectual. It makes sense that I would just run from the plane. Pay attention to me doing the thing that you think I'm gonna do." And then Mercury casts her fog, and Jedi's like, "Where are you?" And Mercury's, "I'm right over here." And he's, "I will throw another plane where you are going." And the next plane chases Mercury, and he's still in the fog, and he's lost track of, am I getting them all? Am I killing them all? So he never notices that Mars comes up behind him and she specifically does her Akuryo Taisen, and without him noticing, she puts her charm on his back, as I said, like a kick me sign. And I think what happens is because she put that charm on his back, she disabled his telekinesis. So he thought he was
Oh.
still controlling the planes, but because she had essentially dispelled his evil power, he was no longer controlling them. So he had no idea that they were now being pointed directly at him until and he still thinks he's going to be able to get them with his planes, but they are no longer under his control because Mars has disabled him. I think that is what the plan was, which is actually really cool, and I wish had been spelled out more clearly to show what a cool plan that was.
It really is.
Yeah, I agree with that interpretation of events. Otherwise, that's the thing that makes the most sense. So I'm gonna
Right.
Yeah.
Occam's razor that. It makes the most sense, so it probably is true.
Because what else would she be doing with her charm that she puts on him?
Yeah, because it's never explained. Even in their little discussion beforehand, I don't think
like
it is.
like why would she use that instead of Fire Soul?
We've also already seen that Fire Soul does a whole lot. She gets a lot of mileage out of
Yes.
what she can use Fire Soul
Mhm.
for, so why didn't she just
Mhm.
shoot him?
Would make more sense. Gosh, I love that this summary on Sailor Moon Wiki starts with Usagi continues to be attracted to both Matoki and Tuxedo Mask.
It's true.
She does.
She does.
It's a theme.
Yeah. But no, and I guess romance is a big part of Sailor Moon when you think about it.
It's the thing, right?
Yeah. And as we talked about in our first episode when we were talking extensively about the opening sequence, in the Japanese, the opening sequence is almost exclusively focused on the fact that this is a romance show.
Yeah. Well, but no, we did get some really iconic, I think, looking moments out of this show. And I'm grateful for them because the moon with the girls, it's a great
I
one.
I think they are in their way. The having Jedi as their first enemy did start to solidify them as a trio, and this is where we start to see them getting better at working together. And so
Oh,
then we're gonna throw Nephrite into the mix.
because imagine if Haruka and Michiru had entered now when they were barely friends.
Oh, obviously, the first thing that would happen would be that Serena would be like, I have a fantasy. It's about Motoki, and it's about Tuxedo Mask, and it's about Haruka Tenno. That's what my fantasies are about.
Oh, I just imagine it would be so much chaos, but I love it. But no, I think it's a strong episode for the first season.
I definitely agree. I think it's an ignoble way to go, but it is what Jedi deserved. He has received the sentence of eternal sleep.
I think they're good episodes. Again, they're so early on in Sailor Moon, and I feel like Sailor Moon as a show changes drastically as
Yeah.
we get into later
It
seasons.
starts to develop its own identity, and we're still at the point we're like 13 episodes in
Yeah.
the Japanese, or 10 in 10? 10.
10.
Yeah, 10 in the dub. And it's still figuring out what it wants to do. Is this going to be a formula? We see them experimenting with this type with the cassette tape episode, which is a dud despite having all these good ideas in it. And like the cruise ship episode, which is a much stronger showing, and then Jadeite biting it with his puppeted 747s and like all this. It's starting to pull itself together. And I think we get to see its strongest identity in S. I really think
Yeah.
Ikuhara understood the assignment and was like,
100%.
yes, it's a little scary, it's gay, and it's weird. And he was like, say no more. My favorite 3 things.
He's also emotionally invested and driven by the underlying notion that anyone has the power to give hope.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see the first season it's quite a few episodes, and we're going to see
Quite a few
quite a
episodes.
lot of, therefore, I think Usagi's growth as a character will feel incremental, slow, tiny notches where it doesn't necessarily even feel like they're laying seeds for where her character is going, but that you do eventually notice that some of her character traits are being shown. I think it's even harder in the deep dub because they really lean on to how like buffoonish she is, especially in these early episodes. No one's nice to her. They never show her doing any of the things that make her heroic. I think we will start to see it when Molly starts to experience some nephrite problems, and we will begin to start to see the hopefulness and compassion of Sailor Moon. But I do think that is something that the show grows into over the course of seasons.
It's also going to get progressively gayer.
Yeah.
Extremely gayer. You're right.
And it should.
I don't know that I have much more to say.
All right, we've come to the end of Jedi's arc. When we resume next month, we're going to be getting into Nephrite and his shenanigans and his beautiful hair.
It's
Lovely
such
frame.
beautiful hair.
Beautiful hair.
No, and he's a fan favorite for obvious reasons, especially in the deep dub.
They were like, let's give this boy an arc.
Let's give him a heck of an arc. And it's a pretty quick arc, too, isn't it?
Yeah. But
I just remembered that he's going to have his thing with Naru.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
he
gonna
sure
hurt.
is.
He sure
He
is.
sure is. Yeah. And
It's
then
only
and
gonna
then
take a couple episodes, but it's gonna be like, oh,
And then Zoe
yeah, and then Zoisite time, and then 100% that bitch time.
Oh, you're so right. All right. So thank you everybody for tuning in to Eternal Mooncast special program Bishoujo Senshi Slumber Party and the React series that we're currently on with the Sailor Moon Deek dub. And just so you know, we will be doing the Deek dub for the first and second season, and then the Cloverway dub for the third, fourth season. All right. And then this has been the discussion portion for episode 6 through 10.
As always, our fellow Moonies, check us out on all our socials and follow us to find out the next time we're going live. And don't forget, you can join our Discord. We are trying to build a community there, so you can go ahead and join that, and you can get to chat with us anytime you want. You can find all our links in the link tree in the description. I've been your co-host, Monica. If you want to know what I'm up to and interested in, feel free to follow me at Dice-Wizard on Tumblr, which is my game design blog. I know that's what's up on the screen right now, but I also have a blog where I talk about writing and post a little bit more about Sailor Moon called Gay Wizard Emporium, and I'll have Michi add that later or put it up on the screen. And you can follow me at either one of those. I post to both of them. I reblog to both of them. God bless Fast Reblog on the mobile app. I am also Dice-Wizard on Blue Sky, which I don't post on. But sometimes it's Sailor Moon, often it isn't. Many surprises await you.
I've been your host, Relia. If you like what I do and you want to follow me on social media, you can find my most active socials popping up on the screen below. If you want to follow my cosplay adventures, you can find me on Instagram at Relia Lacadamon. Or if you want to follow my artwork, I'm on Twitter at Shazari, I'm on Tumblr at Art Crystals, and I'm on Blue Sky as Relia. Thanks as always for supporting the show, and stay tuned to find out what exciting adventures we're going on next month and when we will be meeting you again.
All right. And as always, I have been your host, Michi. You can find my personal socials at MEW21, some underscore cosplay across the web. Our parent show, Eternal Mooncast. You can find previous episodes of our show on YouTube, as well as previous episodes of this show you can find on YouTube. This episode will be coming out on not this Monday, but the Monday after at 7 p.m. Thank you for going for our experiment of pre-recording the episode, because it worked out so great this month with our schedules. We really appreciate to all of our all of our people watching and all of our fans. We appreciate any likes, comments, follows, or however you'd like to support our show in your own way. As a quick reminder, these are just our personal opinions, and we respect all wonderful, respectful, many opinions here. And otherwise, everybody have a great night.
Can
Good night.
we